Hello, how's it going? Today we're going to be talking about intrusion detection and prevention systems, but the tuning of it, right? Because again, we have to make sure that the device is actually doing the things that we need it to. What I mean by this is we're trying to enhance the efficiency. It's going to transform the actual tool itself into something that's actually highly customized for security alerts. Now, think about it like this. Effective tuning is going to minimize false positives. It's going to be able to detect these advanced threats and then optimize the resource utilization because you don't want to be using too many resources, especially if you're an organization that's cloud or remote first, right? So, fundamentals of IDPS. Now, think about network-based intrusion, host-based intrusion, signature-based. These are all different types and how they actually work in a sense, right? What do they do? Now, your IDPS tools, and we talked about these separately as well, so I'm not going to really focus too much on it. But just know that signature base is, well, an actual signature. It's a recognition. You can put a file into VirusTotal, and if that virus signature still exists, you will see it. Host-based IDPS, this is going to detect that activity on the actual system itself. Host network is network, being able to monitor if you're talking about network-based. And signature-based detection, we're talking about just that fingerprint, that signature. And then anomaly-based, well, that's going to be behavioral, right? Looking at the actual behavior of this system. What's happening? Why are all these things happening that's not supposed to do that, right? The importance of the tuning, though, is going to be able to reduce that noise of the irrelevant alerts, because there can be irrelevant alerts. Same to your SIEM, right? Irrelevant logs, right? So we have to tune it. And tuning, all we're really talking about is just fine-tuning, making sure that the type of data we're getting back is good, looking at the different metrics. Like, these are all ways you can tune it and why it's really important. Looking at the settings, just mainly doing what you would need to do in order to optimize that performance, enhance that speed. Similar to like Nessus. If you're scanning with Nessus, you can be able to say, hey, I want to enhance the scanning capability, the frequency, right? So here are the steps in regards to tuning the actual IDPS. So to effectively do this, the normal approach in a sense is going to be configuring the actual baseline. Okay, what is normal? We have to understand what's normal. If spikes every 2 hours are normal, then that's your baseline, that's your set of normal. See right there. Now you want to actually customize rules based upon that too. Right? You're going to customize the actual rule, then your security policy around that. And then segment out the actual assets because, segmentation is key. You don't want HR and finance. You don't want everybody in one domain work group. You want that VPN action. You want to be able to segment out because it's going to reduce that risk significantly. And then threshold adjustments. So I talked about the use of like false positives, right? So this helps with that, the sensitivity of the actual threshold of what we're looking at, right? And then updates, right? Update the actual system itself. Update the signatures. Update the way I look at it is you want to update the way you actually go about your procedures, right? Your SOPs too. That also goes along with that. And then any policy reviews, any nuances that you need to add in there, you want to do that as well. Now, some of the common challenges though, when it comes to IDPS tuning, think about your high false positive rate. That is an actual thing, right? And properly tuning it or over tuning it can actually lead to false positives. It can overdo it, right? Alert fatigue, too many alerts. That actual analyst is going to have way too many alerts to be looking at all at one time. Now, when it comes to dynamic threats, it's going to be hard in a sense, right, to stay up with it. What I mean by that is cybersecurity, they're criminals, like they're always going to be going for something different. They're always going to be fine-tuning their own tools, bypassing their own tools, adding on more and more rounds of encryption, right? Now, think about it like this. These are one of the ways, and I would say, to optimize it for better performance. Load balancing, prioritizing the actual threat as well, and then integrating the threat intel with that. Why not? Because if you're assigning risk levels, right, to certain alerts and threats and everything like that, you want to integrate the actual real-time threat intelligence that says, yes, Bob APT leader team did this in real time, and they're actively looking at this exploit right now, that vulnerable software that's existing on 10 of your systems because, you've done your homework, you know what's there, you have your baseline. But ideally, think about it like protecting an actual corporate network, right? Because if you have your IDPS, your network-based tool, and it's set up and everything like that, and you're really tuning it to like block some of the malicious traffic because you're able to deep packet analyze, right? You're able to actually look at the headers of the packets and the payload too, because that's important. You want to understand, okay, is this payload actually malicious or not? We were actually able to identify cross-site scripting attacks, some SQL injection attacks, because they have their own type of signatures, right? Their own, I would say, different types of tags and signs that they use. So we want to focus on that signature based. Right? Now, that's one way you can look at it. It's been great. Gennaro here, CEO of Cortex Solutions, and today we just basically talked about tuning these types of devices because, well, if you overdo it, you're going to have alert fatigue. If you don't do it enough, you're going to have tons and tons of false positives, and you're not going to really be sure what's real or not. All right, take care. Hope to see you in the next one. Brought to you by ACSMI. Hope you have a great one.